It was about 3 years ago when I first caught myself developing feelings for Mia. She wasn't like most of the girls I knew. She was nerdy, unapologetically herself, and had a personality that drew me in. Mia loved anime as much as I did, her taste in video games was pretty on point, and she had this dark, witty sense of humor that made every conversation memorable. Maybe it was those shared interests that first sparked my curiosity, but over time, it turned into a genuine attraction. At first, I kept those feelings to myself, wary of crossing that invisible line between friendship and something more. I wasn't even sure if Mia saw me as anything more than a buddy to share memes and binge-watch shows with. Part of me was hesitant to make a move, worried about how things might change if she didn't feel the same way. But eventually, my friends caught on, and they were all about pushing me to tell her how I felt. With their encouragement and a surge of courage, I decided to ask Mia out, keeping things low-key so that if she didn't feel the same, we'd still be okay. We met up at this cozy little mom-and-pop diner for lunch. It was one of those spots where the food was as good as the company, and as we ate, I built up the nerve to tell her how I felt. The words were tough to get out, but somehow, I managed to say that I liked her for all the unique things about her love for anime, her gamer side, her humor. I told her how much I enjoyed her company and that I wanted to get to know her on a deeper level, maybe even go on a few dates to see where things went. At first, Mia seemed open to the idea. She even asked me what exactly I liked about her, and I could see a flicker of curiosity in her eyes. But then, her tone changed, and she looked at me with a mixture of sympathy and hesitation. She told me that while she liked me, it was only as a friend. She explained how she valued our friendship and didn't want to risk losing it if things went south. I'd been preparing myself for this outcome, but hearing it still stung. The only thing I could manage to say was, "I'm fine with that," even though it felt like my heart was sinking. We finished our meal, chatted a bit more, and then left the diner, each of us heading our separate ways. I reached out a few times after that, hoping we could keep things as they were, but each time, her responses were short and felt forced. Eventually, I stopped reaching out. It hurt, but I realized I couldn't force a connection that had clearly faded. About 2 months later, I finally met someone new, Emma. Emma was different from Mia in a lot of ways, but just as captivating. She was an artist and photographer with a knack for telling stories through her work. Her art was a reflection of her soul, and her passion for creativity was infectious. It didn't take long for me to feel that same kind of excitement I'd once felt with Mia, except this time, Emma felt the same way. When I asked her out, she didn't hesitate to say yes. We went on several dates, each one better than the last. Emma was thoughtful, creative, and had this way of making every moment feel like an adventure. After our 7th date, I asked her if she'd like to make things official, and she agreed. The next day, I excitedly told my friends about it, and they were thrilled. They'd seen me go through the roller coaster of emotions with Mia, and they were happy to see me moving on, leaving the hurt behind. About a week later, I was relaxing in my room, reading a book, when I got a notification on my phone. It was a message from Mia. I stared at it for a moment, feeling a strange sense of surprise and curiosity. After all this time, after all those ignored messages and short replies, now she was reaching out to me? I couldn't ignore my curiosity, so I opened the message. Her message was a paragraph, and she started off by saying she'd had some time to think. Mia wrote that she'd realized she actually did have feelings for me, that maybe she'd been too hasty in turning me down. She apologized for being distant and said that she wanted to give us a real shot. She explained that she'd always liked me but hadn't been ready before. Now, after some reflection, she was ready to be my girlfriend. Reading her message, I felt a mix of emotions. I couldn't deny that there had been a time when I would have done anything to hear those words from her. But now, after months of silence and one-word replies, here she was, confessing her feelings just as I'd moved on. It felt like a twisted kind of irony. I took a screenshot of her message and sent it to Emma. After that, I blocked Mia. I didn't want to be pulled back into something that was clearly a matter of timing and convenience for her. I thought that was the end of it, but 2 days later, Mia showed up at my house, visibly upset. When I opened the door, she immediately began to tear into me, accusing me of being horrible for blocking her and ignoring her feelings. Her anger surprised me. It was as if she thought I'd been waiting for her this entire time, that I would just drop everything for her because she'd finally changed her mind. She tried to guilt-trip me, asking if her feelings meant nothing to me, trying to turn the blame around. I calmly told her that she didn't have any right to be angry. I reminded her that she had turned me down, had let our friendship drift apart, and that I had every right to move on. Her feelings, while real, didn't erase the pain of being dismissed and ignored when I was vulnerable with her. When she asked if her feelings mattered, I finally let my frustration out. I asked her, where were those feelings when I was single? I made it clear that it wasn't fair for her to expect me to leave my girlfriend just because she decided she was interested now. I told her to have a nice day and closed the door. Since then, things have been tense with some of our mutual friends. Some of them believe I overreacted, that I should have handled the situation differently. Others think Mia acted unfairly, showing up only when she saw I was happy with someone else. As much as I try not to let it bother me, I can't help but feel a bit conflicted. Did I make the right choice? Could I have handled it better? Part of me wonders if I could have been more forgiving, but another part knows that I needed to stand my ground for my own peace. It's strange how relationships, romantic or platonic, can shift so quickly. I used to think Mia was the one, and now she's just a memory, a reminder of a time when I put my heart on the line. Meeting Emma showed me what it feels like to be with someone who values me right from the start, without hesitation. I think that's why I'm so grateful for where I am now. It's not that Mia didn't mean something to me, she did. But sometimes timing, intentions, and actions speak louder than words. In the end, I chose the relationship that felt mutual and grounded in something real, and that's a choice I don't regret. Looking back, I realized that my reaction to Mia wasn't just about her. It was about finally valuing myself enough to know that I deserve someone who wants me in their life from the beginning, not just when it's convenient. I learned a lot from that experience, and even if it caused a divide among my friends, I know that moving on was the right decision. Emma has been supportive throughout all of this, and our relationship has only grown stronger. In a way, Mia's change of heart was a test of where I wanted to be and who I wanted to be with. I'm at peace with my choice, and that's all I need.